gonna have a great time doing it. So we're gonna wait for our gauge. I got it where I wanted at 35 psi. Now this may be a little high. Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Defiant Jeep. Today we're going to do another special little project. It's just another accessory to install, and what we're going to go ahead and put in is a dead pedal. Now, what is a dead pedal? It is exactly that. It is a stationary one piece somewhere you can rest your foot while you drive. The nice thing about this one is you got a whole assortment of adjustments over here. We're looking at 4 bolts total. We got 2 going vertical, 2 going horizontal. And with all the adjustability, you can make it fit or tailor it to your need. Someone like me that I'm only 5'9", but I do have long legs. I'm going to start at the very front right here, which is going to push this pedal as far back closer to the firewall as possible, where you have other adjustments to bring the pedal closer to you. Um, to make this job a little easier, what am I looking for? Here we go. To make this job a little easier, you have to disconnect the wires going from your door, and these are the wires for the power door locks from the power windows. Just as if you were going to remove the door together, go ahead and disconnect that. That'll get that wiring out of your way and make your job a whole lot easier. I've taken advantage of right now as I was preparing, getting my tools ready, which all you need is a 10 millimeter socket and your size ratchet. I'm using a 3/8. But as I said, I was getting my area ready. I went ahead and I completely disengaged the wire and I left it sitting in place. You have to remember that there are locks on these connectors. Make sure that the locks are disengaged and there's a tab you have to press in order to help wiggle and pull down and disconnect the cable or the harness itself. Those of you that already removed your doors, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if this is something that you don't do often or frequently, you know, those connectors can stick to each other. Remember, they are made out of plastic. They do have aluminum and copper connections, but for the most part, it is plastic. And somewhere out here where I live in like the desert of Las Vegas, it gets like super hot. And you know what happens to plastic? It melts, it bonds. So I've had a little difficult time trying to get it out there because it had bonded. It's not melted, but it did bond pretty good. But let's go ahead and make ourselves inside of Defiant. I'm going to show you how to install this dead pedal. Alrighty, so inside the passenger compartment, this right here, what we're looking at is the kick panel on the driver's side, right by the pedals, or right next to the door, because this is the wire harness you're going to remove. And as I mentioned, I went ahead and I undid the security on there, and that's what you're looking at. This is the plug for the wires for your power windows and your power doors. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. You're going to undo the strap from the, I don't know what they call this hook. It's some kind of like detention kind of hook, and you're just going to let the door go. Now, at this point right here, you're going to be very careful when you slowly let your door open, because you don't want to damage your mirror or the body of your vehicle. So now we got plenty of space over here. All right, so now with my 10 millimeter ratchet, first let me get these guys loose, and it looks like they're not all that tight to begin with. And let me get this little clean guy out of my way because he's making a little bit too much noise for me. So, and this. Now, kind of got them started. Let me see these. Oh, that's pretty well loose. This one's pretty well loose. These can get a couple more turns, but you know, before I move forward, we got to pay attention. You have these 2 top bolts right here that are for this limiting strap hook. And then you got these 2 of the wires here, which I believe are ground to the body. So we have to keep those in mind when we are reassembling. So let's go ahead and remove these bolts. And we're going to remember where we got the bolts. Now they are, of course, of different shape or dimension. I believe these here for the limiting strap are actual bolts. I haven't really touched the ones for these ground leads yet, but I believe those are just nuts. But we're going to see in a moment. Oh my goodness, it's got some length on them. Maybe I should have used the power ratchet. Okay, and it looks like it's sustained there. We're not going to remove it because we want this to remain where it's at, and then we're going to put the body of the dead pedal on top of everything. So really all we want to do is just remove the fasteners, which would be the nuts and the bolts. And it looks like that's the direction this is going. This is good. Yes, so these two back two ones are nuts and these are bolts. So this way it's easy to put back together. We don't get confused where they came from or the orientation, because you got the nuts in the back, the bolts in the front, and you can make whatever adult you want to make out of that. Okay, now we got our dead pedal. I am going to position this as furthest back as I can get, and that might be it right there. And where's the pedal? Let me see. Let me just try and put a nut here. Let me put another nut here. Now, I'm not tightening it. I'm just barely going to cinch it, because I want to make sure that the bolts are lined up right. Oh, good Lord, baby Jesus. That's it right there. So, as I had elected to do so, I got the pedal adjusted here to the very front, which pushes the physical dead pedal as furthest back to the floorboard or the firewall as I can get it. And as I mentioned, I'm pretty leggy. It's the only reason I did that. After driving for a few miles, if I feel I need to adjust it closer, I will go one at a time, moving them forward so that this pedal, the dead pedal, will come closer to me. Let's go ahead and tighten it up right now. Looks pretty good. There we go. Let's give that a little spin with my hand. Okay, that's good. Feels nice. That feels nice. Well, that's got some kind of like foam or rubber pad on it, so that's going to create some tension, which is good. All right, dead pedal's in place. Let us get a good look at that pedal. Alrighty, with the dead pedal in place, this is what the assembly is going to look like here. Now, I'm probably not doing it a lot of justice because my factory pedals are dirty. I really should take a brush with some soap and water and clean those up. And even though I do live in Nevada, you can see I got a little rust on there. Remember, Defiant is a Florida Jeep. So yeah, that's all Florida rust right there. So actually it looks pretty neat. Real simple to install, only 4 bolts, or I'm sorry, 4 fasteners, 2 nuts, 2 bolts. From here, let's just go ahead and we're gonna put our power window wire back on there, and then place the strap back on the limiting hook. Alrighty, so sitting in the driver's seat with my feet on the pedals, it actually feels pretty level. The way I have it adjusted for me, where it feels almost level or flush to the level of the brake pedal and the throttle pedal itself. So I think I'm going to be all right for this right now. What I'm going to do is I'll take it for a spin later on, get a feel for it, and see if I like it or if I need to adjust it. Now remember, this is just somewhere to rest your foot. It's got no function except just to exist. It's like a one-piece dumb piece of metal that's just going to be there. But right now it feels pretty good. I'll give it a few miles to see how it feels after driving it. Let's see, on the freeway or on my way to work or something. If it's something worth making a note, I'll get back to you on that. But if you have any questions or any comments you'd like to make on this dead pedal, go ahead and just drop a comment below. But right now, I think we're looking okay. Alrighty, folks, and there you have it. One dead pedal installed. Super simple install. You can do it in less than 10 minutes. 4 fasteners, 2 nuts, 2 bolts, and it's completely adjustable. As I mentioned before, I'm going to give that a run. Not right now. Probably when I'm on my way to the store, on my way to work, or when I get on the freeway. I'll go ahead and get a feel for it. As I sat in it, I adjusted my seat to where I like to sit. And everything feels pretty good so far. It is something new to the vehicle, so you may have to get used to it for a second or two. Um, but you have somewhere to put your foot instead of it just dancing around everywhere, trying to figure out where am I going to put my foot? Am I pretending I'm hitting the clutch? I don't know. Whatever your driving habits are, they're yours. Um, it's super quick there. Just remember, it is your Jeep. You make it your own. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on YouTube. Don't forget to join us or follow us on all of our social platforms. Coming soon, we have DefiantJeep.com. And don't forget about Desert Wranglers, www.desertwranglers.club. We're on the trail every weekend. We'd love to see you on the trail.